from Play-Doh and Preschool. Thanks for joining us. We have, well, look, oh goodness.
It's taken us a long time
and
to
then
be able to get it.
we push play and then it changes the way the video looks. Okay, we have something in our sensory bin this week that we wanted to share with you. It's likely something you've played with in the past. Hey Brittany, I hope you got my email. And we alluded to it when we talked about all of the great non-food sensory bin fillers that we like to use. And so we wanted to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly about what we have in our sensory table. So, all right, here goes. Push your sleeves up.
Okay.
First of all, I should say, the kids are crazy in love with this sensory bin filler. But we do want to tell you about all the pros and cons and the true story about it. So here's the sensory bin filler.
It's actually not my favorite.
Jessica doesn't like to touch it.
I think it's slimy.
Do you know what these are? These are water beads. I'm going to try to show you some up close without, I've got a Bugs Bunny Band-Aid on. I've got to hang here. Anyway, they're water beads. Okay. Here's the thing with water beads. Please let us know if you've ever played with water beads or if you've ever tried water beads in your sensory table. Okay, first I'll tell you the accessories that are in this sensory table before we get into the...
Okay.
So we put little pictures. These are the pictures that we use for our snack. We also added, so the kids could just practice.
Yeah, they can't take the top off, but they can...
They just like to fill them up. It's really good hand-eye coordination, putting the water beads in the picture.
And then they just dump them out again.
You know, they bounce. They're super fun.
But they are slimy. I think they're slimy.
We'll talk about in a minute how we made them and water beads. Yes. We also added some spoons for the kids who are trying to spoon the water beads into the pitchers. And then the other accessory that we've got in here.
Funnels.
Funnels
are interesting because sometimes you've obviously the ones that have a wider spout, they go through them, but some of them, this one doesn't even, they don't go through.
Some of them do. This one's a good, I picked a good one.
You could, and so if you get them, you can actually have them like pop. That's quite, that's enjoyable.
That's enjoyable. Our kids were using the funnels to fill the, their pitchers here at the water table or the sensory table, and they just really they love this sensory bin filler. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the different types of water beads. Gemma will just keep playing with them here. Fill up my pitcher.
I will. I say I don't like them, but I can't.
You can't take your hands out of them.
They're cold though. I get cold.
I use warm water to make them this way.
Really?
No. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the types of water beads that we like to use, the different options for purchasing water beads or finding them, and where are the pitchers from? Walmart, they're supposed to be measuring like to make salad dressing or something.
We use them at snack time.
The kids use them to pour their own drinks. It holds 16 ounces, so enough for 4 kids to have a drink. Okay.
I can't read comments too far away.
So I can.
Okay, good.
We're going to talk about that in just a minute, Mary. Okay. First, I'll tell you that there's lots of different brands of water beads. This is the one that we currently have. They're called jelly beads. I'll drop a link in the video description. I like them because they say that they are non-toxic and fun for all kids, ages 4 and up. So we have this for our older kids. And most of our preschoolers have turned 4 by this point in the year. Okay. They come, they're this great big bag I've had for, I don't know. For a while. A long time. It does not take a lot of water beads. And what you do is the night before, or if you want to do it with your kids, fill up a pitcher or a cup with some water, and then you just add 1 little teaspoon of water beads. That's it. And then let them soak for a few hours. 4 hours. I think the package says 6 hours, but if you use warmer water, they'll bulk up. That 1 little tablespoon of water beads will actually fill this entire pitcher to the top. It does not take a lot of water beads. And in fact, I would not recommend putting a whole lot of water beads in the table.
The other day, Jamie did that. She put some in the pitcher, put them on her desk, and I guess you put too many in, and it all overflowed.
There were water beads
There were
everywhere.
water beads bouncing off the desk, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere. Okay, so now here's the thing about water beads. Mary already mentioned it, but water beads squish.
Yeah.
Especially when they get really big and juicy. The kids just have to give them one little punch, and then they're like,
they just go.
They just break really easily.
Yeah.
So we try to tell ourselves when this happens.
That it's part of the learning experience, and it's
Oh,
okay.
look, they're practicing their fine motor skills.
Right.
Look, they're working on their tripod grasp.
There's no point trying to stop them doing it because it's impossible.
Even when I'm playing with them, they break. It's not like the kids are doing it intentionally most of the time.
And you've got to put it into perspective, really, because this is something that is not going to be in here for weeks and weeks. So
We'll
if
talk
you
about it, yeah.
pop them, then you're going to be throwing them away anyway. So
They sell pre-soaked water beads at the dollar store or at other craft stores that you can put in your vase, like with your flowers or whatever. You want to be really careful with those, that they say on them, if you're playing with them like this, that they are non-toxic, because you don't know what kind of liquid might be in the water bead mixture. Okay, so now let me tell you a few things.
I'm not concentrating.
They're a mess. The broken ones are an absolute mess. They're everywhere.
They stick to the side. They
all over the
stick to
floor. They roll.
They stick to your socks.
They bounce. It's a total mess. So prepare yourself if you want something messy, or if you're outside.
Yeah,
We don't have good enough weather to go outside. Okay, and then the second thing is, because the kids are playing with water, because the beads are soaked in water, the water is pulling all of the dirt and the germs and the grossness off of their hands.
Yeah.
And so our water beads are usually good for 1 or 2 days, maybe. The second day, they need to go into the trash or into your flower pots, into your vases for flowers, because they will start to mold from the kids playing with the water.
And they go moldy really fast.
Really fast, and you gotta dump them. So we usually play with them, just for a day. We make sure that the kids wash their hands after they play with them, and then we dump them out and start over. And like I said, this great big bag of water beads lasts us, for a couple of years. Okay. If you're looking at us and saying, oh, no, Jamie, no way, Gemma, we are not playing with water beads, that sounds gross. We hear you. And so our other option for water bead play
I have stuck on Okay.
Is to put them into a sensory bottle. So these are Voss, V-O-S-S water bottles. I love them because the lids are such a beautiful shape. And in the United States, Voss water bottles are only plastic. I know in other countries, I've heard from the Australian friends, that Voss is glass.
Oh, really?
Yes, and so they'll say to me, I can't believe you let your kids play with glass. We don't.
There must
They're
be
plastic.
some kind of equivalent, some nice bottle that you could probably buy in the other countries that would be similar, I would think.
So these are so cool because this is them in water, and they almost look like they disappear, especially the clear ones, which is really awesome. Gemma's got short arms. And then this one, these are ocean colored water beads. I'll leave a link to those too. And you can see, like at the top, you can see the water beads, and then at the bottom, they just disappear in the water.
They're really neat.
So if you want to play with water beads and have the visual sensory experience of water beads, but you don't want this mess, then go for it in a water bottle. We actually made some. I think I shared them in another video, but there's been 100 videos, so I know you haven't watched all of them. These are the clear water beads from the dollar store. They're not non-toxic. I don't know if they're necessarily toxic, but they don't say on it, And so they're in a water bottle. The kids cannot open the lids. They're glued shut. And I put a couple of drops of food coloring. You can also use liquid watercolors. And we made a whole rainbow set of these water beads. And you can see, this looks like it's just like blue, just blue water, but then you roll it over and you can kind of like see the water beads appear. It's so cool. So we have a whole set of these 6 different colors to make the rainbow. And our kids love to play with these on the light table,
Or at the window.
Or they'll just roll them around. If you hold up 2 of the colors, like to the light, I don't know if you'll be able to see it behind me, but the blue and the yellow will actually make a green. You know,
it's hard to.
It is kind of hard to see because there's not a light behind me. But you know, you can do color mixing with them because when you look through them. And so water beads, if the mess is too much for you, water beads work great in a discovery bottle or in a water bottle just for them to be able to explore. They're really visually interesting. They make a nice sound and they bounce around in there a little bit. So anyway, today is the last day for water bead play.
Yeah.
They've been fun.
The interesting thing was with our older kids, they noticed that after the first day, we've left them in for 2 days. So the second day, they were noticing they were drying up and they were turning into
They start to dehydrate a bit.
Yeah. So the kids were going and filling up the pitchers from the sink and then bringing them over and filling them up again. And they enjoyed doing that.
They did. They really like to put the water in it. Kind of, you know, if they're not very big, you could just add a pitcher of water and they'll soak back up. But they are all over the floor. And so, but they dry up on the floor, which I guess means my carpet's soaking up the water.
Yeah.
And they're just really fun. It's a good fine motor practice, like we said. It's a really nice sensory experience.
You just have to get past them squishing them because
they're gonna squish
at first
them.
we're like, guys, don't squish them, and then there's no point.
They're gonna squish
They're
them.
gonna squish them. They like squishing them. Sometimes they pick them up and they squish.
We had one little boy today.
About it.
And he was trying to get all the broken ones out and put them into the trash.
He didn't like them in there. He said no.
It was cracking me up because as fast as he was taking them out, the other 6 kids were squishing them.
And I said, you could leave them in there. No.
So we spent like the whole time trying to fish out all the broken water beads.
Yeah.
It's like shoveling in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah, there's so many, just from us playing
Futile
games
effort.
right now. They're
Yeah. But they're really fun. Like I said, do not leave them in for very long. Do not reuse them. I mean, I guess you could rinse them off. I would just not reuse them. They're cheap.
As soon as you see one with a black dot on it, the whole
gross.
thing's gone. You have to throw them away. You cannot take chances with that.
We always just leave them for a day and then have the kids wash their hands and we dump them. Try them again for the next day.
It's not worth it.
Just like water play. Can't leave it out too long. So anyway, this is our gooey, messy sensory bin filler. It's non-food, so if you're allowed to play with water beads, then we recommend this one.
I want to know, someone said the other day that they had received some giant, giant.
Yeah, we saw those.
Yeah, right, but we didn't see them in, like, already. I just wondered how long they lasted. Were they already?
Yeah. At the NACI conference, I'm sorry, let me just.
It's okay.
They were big. They're like a ping pong ball size. Remember she had them in a jar?
Oh, I can't remember that. I wondered how, if people have used the big ones, how quickly they stay together because they're so big that they pop really fast.
I would think you'd have to leave those in jars. Don't you think, in big water bottles? Like put them in as a small bead and then add water. We might have to try that. Anyway, I'll leave some links to different water bead play activities from our website, and also a link to the kind that we like to order.
We'll stop playing with them.
And we'll stop playing with them. Unfortunately, we can't join you tomorrow. We have a couple of parent-teacher conferences, but we'll look forward to seeing you next week on Facebook Live. We hope you have a wonderful couple days playing and learning with your kids, and thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
We can't get out from behind the table. Just give us a second. I'll just keep playing.